It absolutely changed everything. And it made everybody take a second look because they've had
So
back in
so fill everyone in for those who don't know the story. So the Apollo 12
yeah,
launches. What happens?
boom, boom, two lightning strikes, tumbles over, all the instrumentation tumbles over. They actually make it to the astronauts, nerves of steel. They don't get too flustered about it. They reset systems, and off they go to the moon. They land on the moon. They come back. When they come back, the engineers get on the spacecraft and start looking at what all the damage that had occurred. There's a lot of damage to that spacecraft from that lightning strike. Now, they had known back in 1963, that there was a crash in Maryland of an airplane taking a strike and exploding. The fuel tank caught fire, essentially, the airplane crashed. So we knew lightning strikes were dangerous. We knew that through World War II. On the Air Force, the United States Air Force knew that forever because they had taken a ton of lightning strikes to airplanes and they'd have lost the aircraft, had severe damage to the aircraft. So we knew all this time running up to Apollo, into the Apollo missions, that we knew that lightning was an issue. And so they actually had some guidance about, hey, we can't launch if there's thunderstorms in the area. Well, what they didn't really consider was you're going to put this gigantic metal object with a rocket plume on the back of it, and the rocket plume is conductive stuff. So you got this really tall metallic and conductive object running through the atmosphere. It can actually cause a lightning strike to occur where there otherwise wouldn't have been. And that's what happened on Apollo 12. It can actually cause it to happen twice. So in that one event, and with the size of NASA, if you think about the era in which this happened, there's really two things happen simultaneously in the United States history, roughly. You have, JFK had been assassinated, so that had all happened. Martin Luther King, Bobby Kennedy. You're in the Vietnam War, and you have the Apollo program. So all those things are kind of melded together, and you just have this continual series of stuff. So the Apollo program was a big deal, and to have a lightning strike that caused any of those astronauts to be put at risk or put the program at risk is going to get investigated. So after that happened, there was a huge effort by NASA to go figure out what's going on. And that's where you start seeing a lot of reports and analysis and studies, and that drives not only in the rocket area, but on the aircraft side too. So NASA is involved in rocketry, and it's also involved in aircraft. So they kind of took both on at the same time and said, let's understand what's going on with lightning strikes in the atmosphere so we don't have problems going forward, or at least we can do something about it. And that was the impetus to it all, right? Was sort of the Apollo 12 and just having the funds and the wherewithal and the engineering people available to go do this stuff. That's where it all started.
And so before that, they didn't really realize that aircraft were causing the lightning strikes. Is that correct?
I think there was just an assumption. In fact, when I started doing the lightning, getting in the lightning business, this is 90s. That's a long time ago. The assumption was not much soon before that a lot of the lightning strikes were just sort of naturally occurring. You're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah. And then with some of the NASA testing, they were flying a fighter airplane, an instrumented fighter airplane through lightning to try to record some data to see what was going on. And they realized they could do a lot of triggering of lightning strikes around Florida with the aircraft. And the fighter aircraft's not very big. So they were triggering these strikes. And so you start to see these numbers like, 90% of strikes were aircraft initiated.